He gave country music its soul, now something has stolen his peace. With his unmistakable twang, signature cowboy hat, and heartfelt lyrics that cut straight to the bone, Dwight Yoakam didn't just sing country songs, he lived them. Whether it was heartbreak, loneliness, or the quiet ache of a late-night drive, his voice always felt like it came from somewhere real. He made millions feel seen, heard, understood. But now, something's changed. Fans can feel it. It's not just a pause in his music or a break from the spotlight, it's something deeper, something personal. A silence that feels heavy. Whispers of health concerns, personal tragedy, or behind-the-scenes struggles have started to surface, and no one seems to have answers, only worry. This is the heartbreaking truth behind the cloud that now hangs over a man who once brought nothing but light. Before he became a country music icon, Dwight Yoakam was just a small-town boy with a second-hand guitar and a fire in his soul. Born on October 23, 1956, in Pikeville, Kentucky, Dwight David Yoakam was the eldest of 3 children in a proud, working-class family. His father, David, served in the U.S. Army before settling the family in Columbus, Ohio, where he took on long hours at a Westinghouse plant and later ran a Texaco gas station. Life wasn't easy, but it was honest, and it was filled with music. The Yoakam household echoed with the sounds of country legends like Johnny Cash and Johnny Horton. Those family road trips became impromptu sing-alongs, and it was during one of those early years that Dwight received his first guitar, a gift from his father, brought back from the Army. Though that guitar didn't last long, the spark it lit in Dwight never dimmed. By the 4th grade, he had a new guitar in his hands and original songs in his head. While other kids played outside, Dwight was already writing the soundtrack of his future, a future that would take him from backroads to Billboard charts and eventually into the hearts of millions. Even as a boy, Dwight Yoakam wasn't just drawn to country, he was mesmerized by the raw energy of rock and roll. Watching Elvis Presley on television lit a fire in him that never went out. When his family moved to a new neighborhood in Columbus in 1968, Dwight found new avenues to explore his talent. At Northland High School, he joined the marching band as a drummer and threw himself into drama class, landing a key role in Flowers for Algernon. That performance didn't just earn applause, it gave him confidence. Confidence that would carry him through the next chapters of his life. In his senior year, Dwight formed a garage rock group called the Greaser Band, playing at school dances and private events. They weren't famous, but they were loud, driven, and slowly building a small fan base. After graduation, Dwight briefly enrolled at Ohio State University, but the classroom couldn't contain his ambition. He dropped out and chased the dream full-time. It wasn't smooth sailing, early failures hit hard, including being conned by someone promising a fake record deal. But Dwight didn't stop. He packed his guitar and headed to Nashville, the city of broken dreams and country legends. But Nashville wasn't ready for him. His gritty honky-tonk sound clashed with the polished pop country dominating the charts. So once again, he bet on himself, this time moving to Los Angeles. There, everything changed. In 1982, he crossed paths with guitarist and producer Pete Anderson. Their bond was instant, 2 purists obsessed with real, roots-driven country music. Together, they dove into LA's underground cowpunk and alt-country scene, where their sound didn't just stand out, it electrified clubs and converted skeptics into fans. Dwight had found his sound, his city, and his moment. By 1984, Dwight had recorded enough music to put out an EP called Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., etc., which Anderson produced and played guitar on. The EP had both Dwight's original songs and covers, like Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. The EP got a lot of attention on indie radio, and soon he was booked to play for the Blasters. After that show, they signed a recording deal with Reprise Records. Honky Tonk Man was added to his record when it was re-released in 1986, and it was a huge hit. It was even history because it was the first music video from a country act to be shown on MTV. The record sold 2 million copies and went straight to the top of the country charts. That was just the beginning. The music business in country music would never be the same after Dwight Yoakam came along. In addition to being a star in country music, Dwight Yoakam has also made a name for himself in movies and TV shows. His movie career began in the early 1990s when he became a regular on the CBS show Crime Show P.S. I Love You. Soon after that, he was in the 1993 movie Red Rock West. The next year, he played a cowboy in the TV movie Roswell. That being said, Dwight really made a splash in 1996 when he played the mean Doyle Hargraves in Billy Bob Thornton's movie Sling Blade. A big step forward in his performing career came with that part. He has since said that it was the first time he knew someone would remember a role he played. The group was nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award for their work. Besides Panic Room, 2002, and The Newton Boys, 1998, Yoakam kept acting in movies like The Minus Man, 1999, and The Newton Boys, 1998. He even tried writing and directing with the western South of Heaven, West of Hell, which he also starred in and created music for. The movie didn't do well at the box office, but it did have songs with famous people like Mick Jagger and Billy Gibbons. Over the years, Dwight kept showing up in movies and TV shows that people loved, like Wedding Crashers and Four Christmases, as well as in movies and shows like Under the Dome and Goliath. This showed that he is good at a lot more than just music. In addition to being a star in country music, Dwight Yoakam has also made a name for himself in movies and TV shows. His movie career began in the early 1990s when he became a regular on the CBS crime show P.S. I Love You. Soon after that, he was in the 1993 movie Red Rock West. The next year, he played a cowboy in the TV movie Roswell. That being said, Dwight really made a splash in 1996 when he played the mean Doyle Hargraves in Billy Bob Thornton's movie Sling Blade. A big step forward in his performing career came with that part. He has since said that it was the first time he knew someone would remember a role he played. The group was nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award for their work. Yoakam continued to act in movies like The Newton Boys, 1998, The Minus Man, 1999, and Panic Room, 2002, which was a scary thriller. He even directed and wrote South of Heaven, West of Hell, a Western movie in which he also played a part and wrote the music. The movie didn't do well at the box office, but it did have songs with stars like MC Jagger and Billy Gibbons. Over the years, Dwight kept showing up in movies and TV shows that people loved, like Wedding Crashers, Four Christmases, and Goliath. This showed that he is good at a lot more than just music. About his daily life. Many people know Dwight Yoakam for his acting and singing, but his personal life, especially his love life, has also gotten a lot of attention in the past. Long ago, in 1992, Dwight dated Hollywood star Sharon Stone for a short time. At that year's Academy Awards, they were seen together. The newspapers were, of course, crazy. Fans even thought that some of the sad songs on this record might have been written about Stone. But Dwight quickly put those reports to rest by saying that they were only dating for about 5 weeks and that it had nothing to do with his music. After a few years, in 1994, Dwight met Karen Duffy at a party. Duffy is an actor and host for MTV. Soon after, they started dating. They were together for about 2 years before they broke up in 1996. The love life of Dwight, on the other hand, was mostly kept secret until 2020. Then he married Emily Joyce, which was a surprise for his friends. They said their vows to each other in Santa Monica, California, on May 4, 2020. A baby boy was born on August 16, 2020, just a few months after that. He was their first kid together. Dwight's big and emotional life event was becoming a dad in his 60s. He's been known for giving his all to his music for a long time, but this new experience gave his life more depth and happiness. Dwight Yoakam's personal life has stayed out of the news most of the time, but these peaks show a softer, more human side of the country star. His fans love her just as much as his music. She is the woman behind Dwight Yoakam's Heart and Lens. Who is Emily Joyce, Dwight Yoakam's wife? Many people don't know much about her, but there are many great things about her and her relationship with Dwight. Emily makes a living as a photographer. We know she showed her photos in Los Angeles in 2016 even though she doesn't say much about her work. I also think she has taken some great pictures of Dwight over the years. He's been proud to share some of them on social media. In a sweet birthday post in 2019, Dwight thanked her for bringing love and happiness into his life and called her someone who shares their space in his life with grace. In 2020, they had their first child, a boy named Dalton Lauren. The news came with some beautiful pictures of Dwight and Emily, who is expecting, going to the hospital. In the post, they even talked about Dwight's song Waterfall, which is about how kids are born even during a pandemic. But Dwight has kept his private life very well, even though he is well known. Still, he and Emily have been seen together on the red carpet a few times, including at the Grammys and other major music award shows. Fans had seen them together before they got married in 2020, so they had been dating for a long time. They live together in the Hollywood Hills right now. In 2012, Dwight said that his house was in the Spanish style, was full of art, and that everything in it, from the tiles to the lights, was his own choice. Three Pairs was the music he talked about, and Emily was already a part of his life at the time. On top of that, Emily helps Dwight with his Sirius SSM radio show, Dwight Yoakam and the Bakersfield Beat. She is often in the background taking pictures of Dwight and his friends, like Rita Wilson and Jakob Dylan. Two very important people in Dwight and Emily's lives have built a life together that is full of art, music, and quiet love. There is backlash against the common time wedding. In May 2020, Dwight Yoakam married Emily Joyce in secret, right in the middle of the lockdowns. But don't think for a second that this was some big event where people grabbed banners. Rolling Stone says that the wedding was very private, even though it happened during the early stages of the pandemic. Officials and people on Yoakam's team said that the service took place at St. Monica Catholic Church in Santa Monica in March, a few days before lockdowns in California actually started. They were with less than 10 other people, who were all sitting at least 6 feet apart. The remark made it clear that it was done on purpose. Even though there were shutdowns and rules about social distance, love won out, and the less than 10 people who came were placed at least 6 feet apart. In spite of that, even this small party was seen as divisive. In the early days of the outbreak, some fans and members of the media asked if it was even a good idea to have a wedding. People from Yoakam's group fought back hard, saying the event was safe for everyone and kept small on purpose. It was also said that the public announcement was put off to show respect for healthcare workers and other people who had been affected by the situation. They had worked together for a few years and known each other for about 10 years. They decided to get married before the pandemic made it too hard to do so. Not long after the news came out, they sent a couple of pictures and a warm message that showed how happy they were and how hard things were for Americans at the time. Dwight's wedding wasn't a big deal in general. In the middle of chaos, there was a quiet, socially aware marriage of love. In all honesty, that's what most of his fans wanted to happen. His money. Over the years, Dwight Yoakam has racked up an amazing amount of money. His net worth is thought to be a solid $45 million by most figures. That amount wasn't reached all at once. This is the result of decades of hard work in movies, music, and even a few odd business ventures. Dwight makes most of his money from being a musician. He first came out in the 1980s with records like Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., that went platinum twice and then again 3 times. This time, he's sold more than 30 million books around the world. His records have brought him a lot of money, and he also gets royalties every time one of his songs is streamed, played on the radio, or used in movies or TV shows. A big part of my income has also come from traveling. According to reports, Yoakam makes anywhere from $150,000 to $300,000 per live show, based on where and how the show is held. That shows how much his live events are worth, even with some setbacks caused by recent health problems. But Dwight does more than just play music. He also acts. He has been in hit movies like Wedding Crashers, Panic Room, and Sling Blade. The starring jobs he's had have helped him become rich through advance pay, residuals, and licensing deals. The fact that his name is known in Hollywood tends to make him look even better in public and open up more chances for him. It's interesting that Dwight also worked in the food business. He made his own line of biscuits called Bakersfield Biscuits. The line grew to include burgers, chicken fingers, and other foods. Walmart and other big box stores bought the company, which added another way to make money. He has also put money into real estate. He bought a house in Malibu in 1989 for about $550,000 and later sold it for $825,000. However, he used the money from the sale to pay for his unsuccessful movie South of Heaven, West of Hell. Dwight has kept his money in good shape even though things have gone up and down. Yoakam keeps making a lot of money thanks to awards, licensing royalties, and fans who keep streaming his hits. He is a great example of how hard work, skill, and some business sense can pay off. The way Dwight always dresses. Dwight Yoakam is known for more than his singing. He's almost as well known for how he looks. Take a look at his ultra-tight bootcut Levi's jeans, flashy cowboy boots, and the same St. Moritz hat he's worn for decades. GQ says he still wears those bootcut Levi's from the 1980s and looks great in his signature banker collar shirt and cowboy hat. People notice how unique he is even at award shows. His rock meets Western style makes people disagree. Some critics have made fun of his style by saying it's too much or too stagey, like he's always portraying a different character. Some people love it and say it's raw, rebellious, and true to his Bakersfield roots. Improving your image. It's so clear that he mixes old-school cowboy charm with brazen swagger. His custom-made clothes are one of the keys to his style. He worked with famous tailor Manuel Cuevas for about 15 years. Cuevas made his country deluxe outfit come to life with rock and embroidered shirts and worn-in vintage cuts. Cuevas says that Yoakam knows exactly what he wants, which is to mix old bolero jackets from the 1950s with some modern flash. On sites like Reddit, people talk about these kinds of skinny pants and boots. Someone said, Dwight has skinny legs and boots that are made to fit him, so what works for him might not work for everyone. Legal problems with Yoakam. There has been a lot of drama behind the scenes with Dwight Yoakam's success in movies and music, especially when it came to money, business deals, and artistic partnerships. Pete Anderson, Dwight's regular guitarist, producer, and band leader, worked with him a lot over the years. Pete helped Dwight create his unique sound and was there for him when he was at the top of his game in his early years. But when Anderson sued Dwight in 2004, things got really bad. He said that Dwight had broken an oral deal by canceling a string of concerts in 2002. Anderson said that this caused him to lose more than $44,000 in wages. The case started because Dwight was having money problems after his self-directed movie South of Heaven, West of Hell didn't do well at the box office. Both men eventually settled out of court, but the fight had a lasting effect on their relationship. Later, Pete Anderson said that Dwight didn't want him around anymore. In an interview in 2011, he said that they would not be working together again, even though he still admired Dwight's ability. This split put an end to a time. The Dwight-Pete team was one of the most well-known artist-producer teams in modern country music. When they broke up, many of their fans were shocked and disappointed. But Dwight got into more legal trouble after that. He got into another fight in 2021. This one is with Warner Music, the company that helped him get famous in the past. The problem is that Dwight's songs were quickly taken down from sites that let you stream them. Warner said it was because the contract had ended. But Dwight didn't agree with him. He thought the record company was stopping him from getting his music rights back. He sued the label, saying that they were unfairly keeping him from controlling the songs he had created. Thank goodness it didn't last long. By February 2022, the two sides had reached an agreement, and Dwight's music was back on streaming services so fans could listen to all of his work again. These fights were annoying, but they also showed how strongly Dwight protects his art, even if it means going up against old friends or huge companies. In the end, his fight for artistic freedom has been as strong as his music. People didn't like the way he played Doyle Hargraves when Dwight Yoakam took over the part in Sling Blade 1996. He shocked everyone by playing the controlling and mean boyfriend with a mix of threat and villainy that made him very memorable. Both critics and spectators praised his rough performance. The year 2000 was the first time Yoakam wrote, directed, and acted in the western South of Heaven, West of Hell. Everyone didn't like the movie. Reviewers gave it bad grades because it had a weak story, slowed down too much, and lacked a production sheen. Robert Kohler of Variety was especially harsh, saying that the movie lacks shape, constant tone, rhythm, and economy, and that scenes often seemed pointless and didn't go anywhere. It has a terrible 14% reviewer approval score on Rotten Tomatoes. There was also no holding back from Film Threat, who said it was like eating a sandwich. Yoakam himself talked a lot about how hard it was to make the show. Because he paid for the movie himself, there were fights between crew members and unpaid bills. It was a creative risk that hurt his image a little. In Yoakam's playing career, his part in Sling Blade is still his favorite. It was subtly scary, intense, and memorable, and it showed that he could play it out on screen. But his attempt to start a career in movies with South of Heaven taught him the problems and issues of writing, directing, funding, and starring all on his own. The overlong, confusing work couldn't be saved by passion alone, and the reviewers weren't afraid to tell him so. Both movies show a simple truth. Dwight Yoakam could really shine when he was in front of the camera. Behind it, though, success wasn't even close to certain. Known for being hard to work with on set, people who work in the movie business call Dwight Yoakam a complicated genius on the sets of The Panic Room, 2002, and For Christmases, 2008. Whilst there were no suggested court cases or public spats, there have been whispers backstage that he might be difficult to work with due to his severe method actor method to the craft. In a 2003 article within The Hollywood Reporter, Yoakam's dependency of completely sinking into his roles once in a while gave the mood on set a heavy, unyielding sense, especially in ensemble casts that relied on lighter or more fluid energy. In Panic Room, which became directed by way of the detail-oriented David Fincher, Yoakam became a burglar terrorizing Jodie Foster's character. Fincher's famously meticulous directing fashion, reinforcing dozens of takes, became blended with Yoakam's internalized, repetitive appearing approach, bringing layers of intensity to already stressful capturing. Yoakam himself as soon as admitted to an interview with the Associated Press that he felt appearing became fragmented and constructed on repetition, just like recording, adding to simply how far he immersed himself into each part. Several years down the line, filming For Christmases, whispers again. The movie turned into a light-hearted excursion movie with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn as its leads, but Yoakam's serious demeanor reportedly didn't mesh with the mild-hearted tone at the set. Even though no co-stars ever got here out in opposition to him in public, some members of the team counseled a business-only form of energy around Yoakam every time he had a scene to paintings on. His excessive awareness, even though appreciated by using some, may have contributed to making group primarily based work a tad tense. Despite these grumblings, Yoakam persisted to find paintings in each unbiased and massive studio films. His fame as a tough genius failed to dissuade administrators from operating with him. It simply created any other dimension to the intrigue surrounding the man as each an actor and as someone who usually takes his artwork critically, even supposing it ruffles a few feathers in the manner. The heartbreaking information. These days, Dwight Yoakam lovers were in a chunk of an uproar. The United States of America song icon with his unmistakable voice and style has visible a few shows canned or postponed due to scientific issues. And although Dwight hasn't stated a lot himself, the occurrences have given rise to situation and masses of buzz at the internet. In April 2025, one in all his performances become shifted due to the fact he got sick. Around that equal length, reports and venues said that Dwight became struggling with bronchial infection, something which takes place to the lungs and makes it hard to breathe. It was horrific enough that he had to cut short of overall performance. And this was now not the primary incident. Throughout the Railbird Festival the previous year, he allegedly had warmth exhaustion. His band issued an announcement afterwards to inform all of us that he became first-rate, however all and sundry new journeying turned into catching up to him. These health setbacks, along with a few current pictures wherein Dwight seemed thinner than every day, induced fans to be even extra concerned. On the internet boards, fans commenced speculating about what could be taking place. Some even cited extreme illnesses which include belly-most cancers. However, it should be mentioned that there is no authentic declaration or affirmation regarding something like that. These are just rumors and they should no longer be taken into consideration records. Till nowadays, Dwight and his people have not given any unique updates on his fitness. That means we do not know exactly what he is struggling with. It'd just be that traveling and appearing, let alone at his age, are subsequently getting up to the mark with him. Stuff like infections, fatigue, and requiring relaxation are all very ordinary and comprehensible. Most importantly, Dwight is getting time to rest and recover. Until he or his crew shows in any other case, the most we can all do is wait patiently, no longer soar to conclusions, and send him all our properly desires. With a while and TLC, we hope to get him returned on level, belting out his heart out as regular. Dwight Yoakam's adventure hasn't been clean currently. The latest concerns around his health have left fanatics feeling deeply emotional. No longer just due to who he's as a performer, however, because of how much he has given over the years. For many years, he's poured his heart into his track, his performing, and his live indicates. Usually giving lovers something actual to connect to. Now, as rumors swirl and concerns upward thrust, people are knowing just how tons he approached to them. It is never clean seeing a person so complete of existence facing tough instances, especially after they've usually been the strong one, the entertainer, the storyteller, the man at the back of the cowboy hat and undying voice. And even as there's still uncertainty around what precisely he's going via, one issue is clear. Dwight's resilience is just as effective as his skills. Whether or not it's been bouncing lower back from profession setbacks, private struggles, or bodily exhaustion, he's usually carried on with grace. What he needs now extra than ever is time, privateness, and guide. Authentic enthusiasts recognize that behind the reputation is an individual who has given a lot of himself. This is the moment for the arena to offer something again, even supposing it's just kind words, patience, and persevered love. Whatever the future holds, Dwight Yoakam's legacy remains untouchable. In case you found this video significant or learned something new about Dwight, recollect to offer it a thumbs up. It sincerely helps us preserve bringing you more tales that count. And in case you want to stay updated with more deep explorations into the lives of your favorite stars, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you by no means omit a post.